Hello, Earthlings. That's what I'm gonna start calling my people. What are you afraid of? Seriously, what are you afraid of? Because if you're looking for your purpose, what you're here to do, you know how they say everything you want's on the other side of fear? Everything you want is on the other side of fear. What makes you say that? I was just writing and thinking, like, wow, I used to be afraid of being seen, like publicly, on social media. Like, I just was, I don't know, I'm gonna lose my privacy. Not that I'm afraid of people, but just of so many people having access to me. I was afraid of not traveling. Well, I was afraid of traveling alone and staying in a hotel overnight by myself. I was afraid of heights. I was afraid of flying over water. I was afraid of flying by myself at one point. Then I was afraid of flying with my husband because I thought, if we're both on a plane together, what if we both die and then our kids are orphans? And I know it sounds crazy, but all of our fears are really crazy. If you think about it, they are. Like, it's little scenarios that we've made based on what? But getting back to being on the other, everything you want being on the other side of fear. When I was just thinking about all the ways that I overcame my fears. So I always knew that I was like, not always, but as I started learning more of my purpose, I knew that I was called to like travel and speak. And speak on the internet. This before YouTube and all these gurus, it didn't really exist like this. This was a long time ago. But I was like deathly afraid for whatever reason of being by myself. So I would go and travel places and speak. But one, I had to be able to drive, and it had to be close enough that I could turn around and come back home. So if I was speaking in Florida, y'all know that's an 8-hour drive. So I would leave at like 5 a.m. Get there, do the event, and then go back home the same night. Literally. And now you may ask, how did you overcome that? I basically just got sick and tired of being sick and tired. Right? I got just sick of having to make decisions based off of my fears. And for the past like 5 or 6 years, I've been just like facing all of those things. So, specifically with the fear of traveling alone, I always knew like, oh, I want to be a trainer, speaker trainer where I travel around. So I got a contract with a company where I had to fly all over the U.S. It was about 5 years ago. Fly all over the U.S. and I was a road warrior on flights, like boom, 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 boom. And I did it. And I won't say the first time that I wasn't afraid, because I was. It took a while for me to kind of get acclimated to it. I remember sleeping at the hotel, like facing the door. I like put chairs in front of the door, like all this crazy stuff. Oh Lord. I would be afraid of staying in my house alone, like crazy stuff. And I had to get to the point where I think I heard something Somebody said, God never sleeps or slumbers, so why are you still awake? And what that said to me was, I'm trying to be so vigilant and stay awake and, if somebody comes and busts in, I'm going to be ready for them. Always on edge, wanting to be ready for this attack that I didn't know was coming. I just made believe was coming. But you can manifest your fears as well. And I think when I was doing a study of that, I got really worried about that. Like, wow, am I making things happen because I'm fearing them and I'm thinking about them so much that I'm manifesting them? So that's when I really got sick of myself. I got sick and tired of being sick and tired, got on my own nerves, and said, I'm going to start facing all my fears. So the fear of heights, fear flying over water. Just last summer, I think that was last summer, I went to Puerto Rico, and actually I faced 3 fears all at one time. I went with my husband, we were both flying together, and we flew over water. Actually, majority of the trip is in water. So when you go to Puerto Rico, they leave Georgia and they just fly over the Atlantic the whole time. So I was freaking out. I was praying. There was a lot of turbulence. I was like, oh my God, bro, I'm gonna die. But I said, you know what? I'm commanding control of my life. I will make it back home. I will live through this experience. I will. So all my fears, I just began to speak against those fears and command, not even ask and pray and beg. I command it. I will live through this. I will come out safely. I will make it back home. I will enjoy this trip. I blah, 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 blah. I start commanding what I truly wanted instead of fearing what I didn't want to happen. How I conquered my fear of heights. There was a zip line there where I was near the resort, and the zip line, basically you went up about 15-20 flights and flew all around like this area in Puerto Rico, and I was literally flying over hotels, like, but I said, I'm gonna do it. Like, I'm gonna do it. And as I was walking up there, you have to walk up all these flights, and my heart was beating, and I was like, it's still time, turn around, go back, don't do this. Why are you doing, like, all those fears and all that apprehension, all that vigilance? It was going off in my head, like, don't do this, go back, turn around, why are you doing this? You're gonna hurt yourself, right? Because the ego is there to keep us safe. It's there to tell us, hey, this is crazy, don't do this, right? And I had to recognize that. I said, no, I'm safe, I'm fine, I will do this, I am doing this, I can do this, I will conquer this fear. And telling myself that, I'm walking up flights and flights and flights, and the air's getting thin, and I'm looking around, I'm like, oh, it's just me by myself. But I did it, and it was fun. Like, the whole time I'm having to, like, boost myself up, like, Sharice, you can do this, it's cool, you're okay, you're gonna make it, it's fun, this is gonna be a great experience, it's gonna be a great story. And I remember climbing up there, and it was a very violent kind of thing. Like, it wasn't like a little smooth ride. Like, I was like, you're ziplining on metal against metal. It was very so yeah, but I kept myself focused, and I kept myself calm, and I kept myself encouraged. I said, you're going to do this. Look at you, remember what you're made of, right? And it was exhilarating. It was great. But more than anything, when I got down, I was just like, you did it, right? You let something hold you back for so long, and then once you face that fear, you're like, why was I letting this punk me out for so long, right? That's not even who I am. As a kid, I was always like a tomboy, and I hung out with my brothers. I tried to run out with my brothers and their friends, and I always had to prove that I was tough. Like I could hang out with them because they're like, oh, go back home. Oh, you're the... So I would have to prove myself. And I'm the middle child, so I was always proving myself. And I got addicted to the adrenaline of pushing myself to do things that other people were afraid of. And I liked saying like, ooh, I did it and nobody else did. Like, oh, you're older guys, and boom, I did it and you didn't, right? And being petite, short, I'm 5'2", and I was smaller then. Always having to prove myself. But what that did, it taught me to trust myself, right? Because ultimately, when you dig down deep and you get to the bottom of your fears and the root causes of all of them, it's lack of trust either in yourself, in God, in your abilities. That's usually what it amounts to, right? Even if I'm afraid of war or somebody breaking in my home, I trust myself to survive, right? I've got another story, but I'm not going to tell that one. But so I want you to think about it. What are you afraid of? Then I want you to get down to the root of it. What are you really afraid of? And then thirdly, how can I now go face that fear? I want you to face it. I want you to overcome it. But first, get real about it. Be honest with you. All right? And see if your life doesn't start improving. See if you don't get closer to whatever that thing is. Whether it's your purpose, whether it's just a goal. Facing your fears is really one of the fastest ways to catapult you to wherever it is that you're going, that you desire to go. Right? If you're afraid of going to buy a house because you know your credit isn't where it is, why are you afraid of going to fix your credit? What is it that you don't want to face? Right? It's not always a thing. Sometimes it's that. So I want you to think on that. I know you can do it. I believe in you. I'm proud of you. Let's get it.